fifth pick will be made by the Detroit Pistons.
Wow, Detroit fell all the way out.
So pure and true.
And that means there are
The fifth pick will be made by the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, it's a rough day, Pistons fans. It is a rough day for the Detroit Pistons, the organization. And this is a cumulative thing, is what this is. You know, last night the NBA draft lottery comes on before game one of the Western Conference Finals, and we're looking forward to it, and we are, we're all geared up and ready to go. And then you hear that come out with the fifth pick.
Will be made by the Detroit Pistons.
I can't tell you the level of disbelief that I had. And I know, I know that they had the best odds of picking fifth. And that's part of why this whole process is very frustrating, because to me, two parts here. The Detroit Pistons have had the worst winning percentage in the last 5 years than any team in the NBA. And I don't think it's rigged. I really don't. But if you have a terrible team, and this is supposed to prevent tanking, and so from that perspective, the league got exactly what they wanted. You know, you're going to shut your guy down because, he's going to have surgery. Okay, all right, you shut down Cade Cunningham. But then you're going to shut this guy down and that guy down, and he's got this and he's got that, and you're going to manipulate your roster. You'll see what this guy's got, and you're going to change things around. This is the point of that. The Detroit Pistons are, this is exactly what it's supposed to do. The league is trying to tell everybody with a lottery system that, look, you're not going to do this and get away with it. You can't intentionally lose games or intentionally change your roster, that's not going to put the best product out there on the floor. That's what you deserve. That's what you got. The fact that the system says that they have a 48% chance, 47.9, but a 48% chance of getting the fifth pick as the worst team, that's where I have an issue. Now, I get that it's there. There are some odds for the fifth pick because you can't pick any worse than top five. Well, that's a nice little protection for the worst team in the league. And if you're the second worst team in the league, you can't pick any worse than six. And if you're San Antonio, who's the third worst team in the league, you can't pick any worse than seven. All three of those teams had a 14% chance of getting the number one pick, which means that all three of those teams had an 86% chance of picking somewhere other than number one. What I don't understand is why it is weighted so heavily to five. Like, if you're not going to pick number one, you're the worst team in the league, shouldn't you, not pick any worse than three? Like, why do you have a 48% chance of picking fifth? But then again, the NBA had to do this lottery. You have to do this to try to prevent teams from tanking. That's what it comes down to. Do I believe that the system is broken? Yeah, a little bit. I do, because it affected my team. If I was the San Antonio Spurs, well, I don't find anything wrong with the system at all. This is great. But if you're a Detroit Pistons fan, a part of this is what happened last night, and a part of this is a culmination of the worst winning percentage in the NBA in the last 5 years being the Pistons, and the worst winning percentage in the NHL over the last 5 seasons is the Red Wings, and the worst winning percentage in Major League Baseball is the Tigers. And we had to sacrifice everything so that the Detroit Lions can be good, and if God bless it, that's what it took. If we had to give up the other three so that the Lions could have success, that's a price I'm willing to pay. I'll let y'all know that right now. You can't have it all. Life is about sacrifice. If you have a relationship, you're going to have to sacrifice something for the betterment of that relationship. You're not always going to get it your way or get what you want. right? There's going to be some give and take. As a child, you learn to sacrifice, whether it is your time or your toys or whatever the case may be. You should be learning that you have to make sacrifices. Because in the real world, you're not going to get what you always want. Like, it just doesn't happen like that. And so you have the Detroit fan base as a whole this morning waking up going, what in the world happened? And that's the way I look at it. If the Lions make the playoffs, but the other three have to stink in order for them to do so, then God wills it. Let it be. I'm not even worried about it if the Lions make the playoffs. But this is I know what Troy Weaver said afterwards, and he was on there, and he's talking about it, and it's never. He said, "quote Obviously, number one was a different tier." Yeah, Wemby is a different tier. Now, I do need to say this because anytime you see a highlight of Victor Wembanyama, I'm not discrediting him at all. But every 3-pointer he takes, he can shoot it. But every 3 he takes in the videos that circulate the internet, they go in. He's shooting less than 30% from 3 this year on the season. He's 29.7%.
It's just like when you're watching a golf tournament and
every shot doesn't stick within 5 feet.
Well, but you'll say, it'll be some no-name dude, but he's got a 75-foot putt. Moments ago, I bet he's going to make this one.
They're only going to show you the highlights.
Yes.
That's not to say that Wemby isn't the best player in the draft. He far and away is. But Troy Weaver said, quote, obviously number one is a different tier, but it's not number one or bust. I'm watching LeBron, who was a number one, but he's playing against Jokic, who was 41, who has been back-to-back MVPs. We never view it as one or bust. Oh, okay. That's a great comment. That's good. I get it. I said it last night in the Twitter space. Like, there is a level of spin and damage control that is going to happen here. It's happening right now as we speak. We'll talk to Bryce Simon about it a little bit later. Like, who's there at 5? Like, who can we get excited about now that we left? We no longer are in the VW sweepstakes. We lost out on that. And although I know our chances of picking 5th were the best odds that we had, and I know that we had a 14% chance, same as Houston, same as San Antonio, to get that number 1 pick. It doesn't make me feel any better. As a fan, separating my fanhood from my profession, as a fan, this is like somebody walking up behind you and kicking you between the legs. That's what this is. As a fan, this is running across the middle and not seeing Ray Lewis. That's what this is. As a media personnel member, this is exactly what you deserve. This is why you don't rely on the lottery. You put the best product out there on the floor. You stop excusing people for not knowing how to win. I know it takes time, but at the end of the day, like, somebody's got to win. And the ball's in Troy Weaver's court. Because we spent the entire 22-23 season sitting around watching this team not put out their best possible product night after night after night, clinging on to little positives that we see in a 17-win season. That is unacceptable.
I'm thinking, look at where the Cavaliers are and where the Pistons are.
Mm-hmm.
And, I would project, I don't know about, the Cavs are going to be a top 5 seed in the East next year. That's just a fact. The Pistons, they'll be lucky to win 25 games. And the Cavaliers and the Pistons were in the same spot 3 years ago.
Well, the Cavaliers also, and I know but didn't the Cavaliers win the lottery 3 times in 4 seasons or something crazy? The post LeBron.
Yeah, and
and things have changed.
Anthony Bennett played.
Then.
Did he even touch the NBA floor? He played for the Maine Lobsters his whole career.
Lobster and pasta, it's trending right now. I don't know if you guys have heard that song yet. But look, the Cavs are a better team than the Detroit Pistons. The Cavaliers start Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. That's not too bad with Danny Green, Karis LeVert, Ricky Rubio coming off the bench. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. And it could get you a 5 seed, could get you a 4 seed. I assume that there's going to be, there's definitely going to be some drastic changes in Philadelphia now that Doc Rivers is out. Boston and Milwaukee will be up there, per usual. I would expect the Miami Heat at full strength. I think that they're a better organization, better program, better roster than the Cleveland Cavaliers, but they were lower in the standings because they were not healthy the entire season. They're not even healthy right now. One of their starters broke their hands. The Pistons, I don't know where they go from here. Like maybe the Cavs are a bit of a stretch. Let's look at the Orlando Magic, for example. Do you think that that's a pretty that's an okay comparison?
My point about the Cavs was literally the Pistons and the Cavaliers were in the same exact position. One team chose to take Cade Cunningham, the other took Evan Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
They made a smart trade, and they're one of the better teams in the conference. We, the Pistons, just tank every year, praying for the number 1 pick. That we had the number 1 pick. We got him. He's played like 60 career games.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And we won the lottery, and I said it last night, but we won the lottery in the wrong year. I'm sorry, but Cade Cunningham and Victor Wembanyama aren't even in the same stratosphere. Like they're not even close. I hope Cade turns into be Magic Johnson with a better shot, but I look at Orlando because there's a team that, okay, so they got Paulo Banchero, but, Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris, Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, the Wagners. I mean, look, Franz Wagner is a ball player, and he was the 8th selection overall. He's top 50 in scoring. He's an all-rookie member. He's a shooter. That guy Franz can play. And as the 8th pick, that gives you some hope that maybe there's somebody there that can help this team. But nobody's going to be able to help their franchise like Victor Wembanyama. I don't believe that he is Kristaps, but a lot of this does depend on health. Let's get to Dave in Hudsonville. Good morning to you, Dave. How are you, my friend?
Morning, AB. Hey, in the bigger picture of things, I don't disagree about Victor, but the Spurs are not going to sniff a conference final for 4 years. It's just going to be that long. And the other thing with the Cleveland Cavaliers, their best player is Donovan Mitchell. They got him through a trade. Right now, we got 3 guys on the all-rookie team the last 2 years between Cunningham, Duran, and Ivy. And if we go out and, get ourselves a top-flight free agent, that's going to be better at this point than a Victor Wembanyama because he needs a few years to develop. And the Spurs aren't even close to developing. So there's a different way to look at it, too, because you almost it would have been great to get him, without question. But at the end of the day, he's not even an evolved NBA player yet. And to go out and get a top-flight NBA player to go with some guys, if Cunningham can stay healthy, I think improves us faster than Victor Wembanyama.
So I think that Wemby is already better than anybody on the Pistons roster.
I don't think
he's NBA ready. Dave, he's NBA ready. He's gonna come. I'm telling you, when they did that scrimmage against the G League Ignite when they played that game, and he went out there and wiped the floor with those clowns. He's gonna, as long as he stays healthy, he is Giannis. He'll put the weight on. It'll come.
No, hey, AB, he's not Giannis. You can't talk about a guy who's been in the league and doing it when Victor hasn't. He weighs 200 pounds. At the end of the day, his body's not even evolved. He's starting to go against some men now, and I'm not saying he can't score a little bit, but at the end of the day, once you start getting those guys leaning on you and starting to pound on you, it's going to be a while for him. He's not going to walk out and dominate the league.
No, he's just going to walk out to the three-point line, drag those guys out, and beat them off the dribble. He won't even have to pound on them.
No, you're a little evolved in your piece with that. I don't think it's that easy for him. We'll see, but I just don't think it's going to be that easy for him to do that because he's got nothing on his body going to the basket. And if you watch LeBron, And if you watch Giannis and if you watch Embiid, you talk about the physical contact. He is not going to move, and he's not going to move physical guys in front of him with his body. Look at how physical the contact is on the drives now. You can play European basketball and dance around like playing European soccer. It's going to be different in the NBA for him.
Oh, I don't disagree with you there. I do not. I don't disagree with you. But if he drags, let's say for example, Embiid were to get switched on him, he's gonna lure him out, and because you have to guard him because he can shoot it. So you have to. It's not like he's Draymond. You could just hang out in the paint and dare him to shoot it. Like he can shoot it. So he drags Joel out there. He beats him off the dribble, and then you have 7'4" coming out. You can touch him all he want. The guy can touch the rim from the free throw line. The guy, he's an alien.
I'm going to let a 7'5" guy who shoots 30% or less shoot it all he wants.
Well,
he can stand up there all day and think that he's a 6'2" guard, man.
There you go. That's Dave in Hudsonville. I feel like we might be on the verge of disagreement on that one. Let's get to Freddie, who is on hold right now on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. You can join us 224-8951-2176. What's going on, Freddie? How are you?
Was that Grant Long that called? Grant Long didn't like when Bellino as well.
Well, Grant was like, I got to see it first, and I don't blame him. Yeah. Sean Bradley, Kristaps, like those are both very good examples.
Dave from Hudsonville, his logic was flawed. No disrespect, but listen, I'm not going to argue the point if he's going to be good or not. I mean, no one ever knows. But to say a top free agent's going to come here to Detroit, what are they going to come here for?
Well, there's no top free agent. That's the other thing. Like the free agent pool this year is not good. Like our best bet might be Jeremy Grant Part 2, like a rerun with Jeremy now that he knows, hey, you don't have to be the number one option. This is what we're doing. Are you down with it or not? Like, do you want to come back here?
Dave knows better. Top free agent's not going to come here, even if there was one. Not coming here. What are you coming to Detroit for? When you go to other places like Miami, whatever, they don't pay tax. You got the girls on the beach. These guys are not coming here. You got to do it through trade. And everybody's laughing at me when I keep saying Jordan Poole, and the first reaction, like, he makes too much money. Listen, there's no too much money in the NBA. Okay, Jordan Poole can shoot the ball, and it's obvious that him and Draymond Green hate each other. And the coach admitted it yesterday that since that fight they had, it's never been the same between the two guys. Mm-hmm. So one of them's got to get out of there. And you get a Jordan Poole that can shoot the ball. And if you have to trade a Cade or an Ivy to make room for him, you got a veteran in there. Then you bring another veteran back. Then you're talking about maybe doing something. But they're stuck, man. They really are stuck, and they're going to have to find the coach is going to be interesting who they pick now. But no top free agents coming here. And Wembanyama, they would have sold out every game if they would have won that draft. I mean, that's terrible. Listen, if we would have got 2 or 3, I wouldn't have been as pissed. But 5? I mean, are you kidding me? 5. That was ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous to have the worst record and to go all the way to 5. Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy saying the lottery's screwed and blah because we lost. I'm not going to be a sore loser. But seriously, 5. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I know you're up against it. Have a good week, buddy.